Hey guys, welcome to today's session. Today's session we are going to discuss with the most amazing, the most fabulous and the most incredible client that we have at Influential Minds. You know how fickle I am there, Emma. I just wanted to welcome Emma Wolfe to the stage today. She's going to go through what's gone from zero of growing a business at zero income to right up to nearly 6 figures per year. So I'm not going to steal your thunder, Emma, but I really want to get more about you than your introduction. But can I just welcome you to our most amazing Zoom call today to find out how the hell have you gone from zero to nearly 6 figures in 2.5 years. So Emma, tell us about you. Tell us about your story. Give us your magic.
Awesome, Paula. What an intro there. That made me feel slightly famous doing that. So I really quite enjoyed that. And sometimes looking back on it, you forget that you started at zero. You know, completely forget that. So for those of you that don't know me, my name's Emma. Paula's already told you that. And I am the operations officer for Pillow Partners. I also run the Glasgow franchise for Pillow. So that is a service accommodation franchise. And I've been doing that for over 4 years now. And as Paula said, I've gone from zero to nearly 6-figure business, nearly just off it. So when I first started with Pillow Partners, I'd come from an employee mindset. I'd been an employee in a housing association for 8 years. For any of you that know kind of public sector jobs, the work ethics, the kind of people that work there are absolutely amazing, but we're always working for the weekend. Sometimes we're not even working for the weekend, we're working for Wednesday to get halfway to the weekend. Completely different kind of mindset to what I have now. And that environment just really kind of drained me a lot. I've got quite a strong energy. I've got a lot of ambition and passion about what I do. And I felt like in that environment, it kind of stifled me a lot. And I was always that person who was looking for more. And that wasn't just in the housing association. I can take that right back to my childhood. And I'm talking wee cheeky Emma when she was 10 years old. Wee cheeky, can you imagine wee cheeky Emma at 10, Paula?
Not a chance.
I was just as cheeky then. I actually ended up going shyer through my life. So I was a wee cheeky, bullshit 10-year-old. And I used to like look around my mum's house and go, I could sell that. And I would literally take her ornaments off the shelves, walk around the streets, chat the neighbours' doors and be like, hi, do you want to buy these ornaments for £1? So people would buy them. And then I'd go back and I'd be like, Mum, I've made us £10. And she'd be looking about going, what have you taken? What have you done? I'm like, wild autumn figurines, your china glasses, like cups, all that kind of stuff. So she would then have to go back to the neighbours with me, chat their door and go, can I get my ornaments back and I'll give you your £1, please? So always had that, always had a hustle since I was young. My dad saw this in me as well. And he actually, when I started to drive, got me my Footstills empire. So you might hear me talk about that sometime. And my dad bought me 400 Footstills. And he said, listen, no, you're always looking to make money. It's always been in your head. Here's 400 Footstills. I want you to take them, go to car boot sales, sell them. I want £5 a pop. So off I went every week in my Hyundai Pony that just about made it to the car boot sales, filled with these Footstills, and I would sell them for £20. And then as the stock went down, 15, 2 for 30, eventually £10, £5 to get rid of them at the end. Now at 17 years old, just learning how to drive, I'm coming back from car boot sales with £250 in my pocket every single weekend. And I loved that buzz. However, having looking back on that now, you realise how smart my dad was because he made money for sitting in his living room and sending me out to the car boot sales. But at that time, he totally captured that passion. So then life comes in. You know, you go to high school, you go to college. I wanted to be a TV presenter. And the reason I didn't do that was, one, I talk really fast. And trying to understand an excited Glaswegian on camera just isn't that easy. Plus, I found that I raised my eyebrows at the end of every sentence. So when I watched myself back, I was like, yeah, I can't do that. So that never happened. Ended up going into every single sales job you can imagine, hotels, gyms, just everything. And with sales, you're always looking for more. There's always something else, but you're making money for other people. So I've never, ever felt wholly fulfilled. And then after all these different kind of jobs, I've gone into the housing association and I went there with the idea that I wanted to help people. because I thought I could genuinely make a difference to somebody's life within this. There are a few stories in that organisation where I did make a difference to people's lives, but my impact over 8 years didn't kind of outweigh the stuff that wasn't making me happy, if that makes sense. So I'm just going day to day, motion to motion, having a, don't get me wrong, great time, great colleagues, amazing laugh, great for a night out, but we were just living to work. Is that the right phrase? Yeah, living to work. Yeah. So that's literally it. And you know what? I had a good wage. As far as wages go, I had a decent wage, had a decent life, but I still had that thing where I wanted more. And every time I would maybe speak to a manager, like, I've got this amazing idea, we can make it better by doing this, I was shut down at every single turn within the housing association. And it wasn't because they didn't want me to do that. I think it was the right idea. There was just so much red tape. And you were working around these organisational rules that just stifled anyone with kind of that little bit more passion. And also, if you volunteer and says, oh, I want to do that, I want to do extra, your colleagues, you know, they're just like, why are you doing that? Because then we all have to do it. So it wasn't the right place to be. I want to be the superstar. It was never that place. And as I say, coming out of there, that really kind of stifled me as a person, who I am. And I was almost quite withdrawn at that stage in my life, I would say.
Wow. I can actually relate to the being in that environment of people going, if you agree to do that and stay over, then we all have to agree to do that to stay over. I can remember once getting warned by someone to not do that, like, do that and I'll break your legs, Paula. I was like, what? So totally. So how did you get out of that environment where you could take your own ownership of your own personal development and, reach for the stars if you wanted to? Like, what gave you the balls to quit that and go where you wanted to go?
And that's a very good question, and trying to kind of pinpoint back to it's really difficult. But what I remember is just thinking, do you know what, so that I'm going to be me. I'm going to be me, and I'm going to do the work that's asked of me within that housing association environment. And while everyone's arguing about whether they should do the work, I've done it. And I started getting that little spark back, that little thing. And I was like, well, I enjoy that. And you know what? If people don't like it, that's their issue. And then this opportunity with Pillow, I almost kind of stumbled across it, fell into it. And this was presented to me as, here's this property business, you'd be absolutely amazing at it. And I remember being quite resistant to it at the time. Just like, because it's stepping out your comfort zone, it's going against that comfortable life that I'd created in a housing association, with the holidays, with all the sick pay, with all the dental, optical, everything that I'd created, that easy life that I tried to create. But my passion's going, yep, there's something else, there's that something else, there's that thing calling me. And I thought, sod it, do you know what? I'm going to do it. And that's literally how it went, sod it, I'm going to try it. Mm-hmm. So when I was doing it, I wasn't really doing it with full passion at that stage. And I was still working full time. So what I did was I worked flexi time in the housing office. So I could do some work before work, some during my lunch, some afterwards, some on kind of cheeky calls when I was out and about doing my patch stuff, just doing what I had to do to get a feel for this. And I literally didn't know what I was doing. I was told, here's a phone, go and phone some property owners. I was like, okay.
Really?
Yeah, just do it. And I remember getting asked questions when I was sitting in my office, which was the Sainsbury car park in Darnley, because I was going in between jobs and on my breaks. So I'm in this car park, and I used to drive down to the very bottom thinking, well, if I park at the top, people might hear me. So they'll hear what I'm saying and kind of think, and then someone can analyse my sales technique or what I'm doing. So I'd drive down to the bottom and hide at the bottom of the car park so that nobody could see me doing this other kind of job that I was doing. And I would phone owners and I'd be like, hi, I'm from Pillow, blah, blah, blah. And they'd ask me a question, but I was confident enough to say, listen, I don't know the answer to that right now. I'd answer the stuff I did know, hang up, tell them I'd get the answer, phone head office, go, they asked me this, I've got no idea what to say. And they would coach me through what to say. And I'd either phone them back later on that day or same time and go through the conversation. And with doing that, I did get my first property on in my first month. And It was a one bedroom in Bells Hill and really small property, but I was so excited because it was mine. Now, in between all this, I'm also doing LinkedIn. So I'm getting myself out there. My work knew I was doing it. So I'm getting myself out there on social media and advertising what I'm doing, starting to go to various networking events. And with this one property, eventually I get this phone call It sounds like a Slovakian number or something. So I was like, oh, Slovakian number, what are they phoning? So hello. And they're like, hello, is this Miss Emma? And I'm like, yes, this is Miss Emma. How can I help you? And these people looking for Miss Emma were looking to stay in my 1-bedroom apartment in Bells Hill for 3 months.
Love it.
And that was just from social media. That was literally it. They saw me on social media, contacted me, got the booking in. And I was like, this is pretty good, actually, isn't it? I quite like this. And that kind of momentum kept going. I got 5 properties on in Govan, and then I had 6. So then I had 6. I'm still working. But what I see at that point is potential. So to put it into perspective, my first earnings from Pillow was £36 for 1 month. £36 for all those hours I was putting in after work, all that kind of stuff. But do you know how exciting it is to get £36? It's yours. It's yours and yours only. It's not company paying you. You earned that £36 all by yourself. It's yours. Yeah. So that was awesome. The next one I think was £156. So then it's even more exciting. I'm like, oh, that's a night out. You know, there's a night out. That's amazing. The next one was 300 and odds. So that's literally how that went for the first 3 months. And all I could see was potential, potential, potential. And this yearning to do that more than do the job that I was in. So I was starting to get that spark back. The spark was coming back. And I was starting to then again step out of different things, go into different networking events. And we'll go into this story in a second, but you'll remember, I don't know if you remember the first networking event that we met at.
Oh yeah, I'm going to bring that up.
Yeah. So then it was that networking event that almost spurred me to go part-time thereafter.
Almost.
Oh, well, no, it did. It did. But I never did it till about 2 weeks after it. That's why I say almost. I never did it on the day, but I remember thinking, yeah, I'm going to do it.
I can remember sat next to them and I was like, oh, she's nice, quite blonde. There's no, what's her boo to a goo, if that makes sense. And then all of a sudden it was like, bah, 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 and the unicorn came out and I was like, I like this lady.
Yeah, and I was shy then. Like, and that's what I say, it kind of stifled who I was, working in the wrong environment. Yeah. And I couldn't stand up in front of anyone. So I remember trying to say my 30 seconds at that event. And I remember just thinking, oh my God, I don't want to do this. I'm sweating behind my knees, my belly button's sweating, my eyeballs are sweating. Everyone's looking at me. I don't want to say anything. And I stood up and I torpedoed out a 30-second introduction at such speed, nobody would have known what I said. Sat down and continued to shake for the rest of the networking session while everyone else did their bit. And I had no idea who anyone was because I was so concerned about myself. And it was so bad. But that networking event was, it was a women's only networking event. Everyone was so friendly, so lovely. And I remember thinking how inspirational all these women were that were running their own business, just doing it. A lot of them had family, the kids, stuff that I couldn't even imagine doing business with. And I was just like, I want to be like these people. This is what I want. This is the people I want to sit in the room with, rather than the office that I'd been working in. And that was what changed. That networking event literally changed my life. The next bit, and you'll remember. So we were talking, and you were like, yeah, do you want to come to this other networking event with me? And I was like, yeah, Paula, I'd love to do that. And you went, excellent, it's next Wednesday morning at 6:30, bring 60 business cards and a 1-minute elevator pitch. And I went, see you later, I'm not going to that. In my head, I never told you that. And I was like, I'm not going, because Shy Emma did not want to stand in front of 60 people because I needed 60 cards.
Yeah, you didn't turn up to that one, did you not? No, was that the reason why?
Yep, that was the reason why.
Wow. Now look at, I was talking to someone today about you, of some of our clients, and I shared the video yesterday of your award-winning, we won a trophy where you got our first client to get that one. You were our first client to get level 1 in your 12 levels of greatness, and you were so quiet and quaint and chilled, and you were like, duh, 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 duh. And no one could believe that was you, by the way.
Yeah, I'm still quiet and quaint.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so right, tell us the secret. How have you built your business from 0 to nearly 6 figures in less than 2.5 years? How have you nearly done that?
So it's I wouldn't say there's a massive secret to it. I think it's consistency. When I say consistency, it's consistency with the social media stuff at the beginning, building a presence, putting all the work in. So it's not expecting the work to come to you or the money to come to you. That's not going to happen. That happens later. That happens later, but you need to put in the graft at the beginning. And the graft can be when you're working for a £36 end of month figure. And that's a graft, and not going, you know what, it's £36. I'm not going to do my social media. I'm not going to go to that networking event. I'm not doing that for £36. That's not, it's like, that's £36. That's amazing. Let's turn that 36 into 72. Let's turn that 72 into 144. And how good is my maths there? And that's as far as I'm doing. I tested myself there. Maths is not my forte, but it's just doing that, making sure you're doing the actions. And I never realized that then at all. I didn't understand what I was doing at that point. I did it just because of sheer tenacity, because of the fact if I do something, I'm going to achieve. I don't want to fail. Failure is not something that I want to associate with. So for me, it's the success, and to succeed, you've got to do the actions. Whereas if I just sat there and pissed about and expected it to come to me, I wouldn't be sitting here telling this story. Yeah. I'd still be sitting there on 36 quid and going, yeah, I want to go back to the housing office. They're great. They're great. They pay me for doing nothing, So it's putting in all that kind of work. And see, when you have the bad moments, because there will be bad moments in business, there always is. It's learning from every single experience, And as your journey grows, it's learning to deal with that with less emotion.
Yeah, I remember your first meltdown. God, it lasted 4 weeks. At least. Yeah, your first ever growth meltdown. I call it growth spurt. But yeah, that was some awesome meltdown, by the way, wasn't it, Emma?
I'm sure there was tantrums, tears, snotters, stamping feet. I still used to stamp my feet at that age.
Still do.
I was going to say, I think I maybe still do, right? People don't see it as much. But yeah, it's just learning to learn from those experiences and move on from them.
So your very, very first growth spurt. So when you come on as a client, I go, I'm very open about having a growth spurt and what it looks like and what the symptoms are and stuff like that. How did you really feel when you first experienced it?
Oh, it's horrific. It's horrific. It's like, because you feel like for whatever reason, you start doubting yourself, so all that confidence that you start to build in yourself, you then start to question everything. You maybe go, I do want to go back to my job. I want to go back to a job because you know what? A job's easy. I don't have to do this in a job, and it starts to kind of, so you almost like reversing mindset temporarily until you can get rid of the emotion that's associated with it, because you think it's all about you. It's about how you feel, and it's nothing to do with that. That's just a side effect of what's happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels pretty awful. You can feel pretty sick inside and just sad and unmotivated until you almost snap out of it.
So what made you snap out of it after 4 weeks of, and I remember you coming into the sessions, because our sessions were every 2 weeks, wasn't it, at the time? You come in and be like, oh, she's still not over it yet. Come on, let's get through this. And I could see great potential at the front, and you're like dwelling, and I'm like, just come on. But I know you have to go through it. So what got you out of it?
It's almost like a process. It's like almost like a process, same way like grief's a process. You need to go through all those kind of emotions and then look at what you actually want. And you've got a choice at that stage. It's, do you want to continue doing what you're doing, or do you want to go back to the way things were? And that's a personal choice. And if you have that kind of spark, I always say it's a spark that entrepreneurs have. If you've got that, you're never going to go back. You just want to have a little tantrum about it, in the middle. But yeah, it's looking back at what you actually want and why you've gone through that. Because you know what? As I think I said it earlier, business isn't always easy. And as soon as you realize that, then each time you go through that kind of growth period, it will get easier and easier, or shorter and shorter. It doesn't mean you don't feel those things, but it does get shorter. Like, what do we call it? Bounce back ability?
Yeah, bounce back ability, right? Yeah. Yeah. You keep on saying about not wishing life was easier. There's a Jim Rohn quote where when I was setting up my business, and I kept on saying this to me like a mantra every single day: don't wish life was easy, wish you were better. Yeah.
100%. And you still want the challenges, because challenges like equal success, because if you get past that challenge, then that's successful. It's the same with I do a bit of running and do different fitness things, and none of that's easy, but I do it. And I do it and I follow a process, and I always kind of relate some of that to business as well. And when you find your thing you can relate, then it just works really well and all falls into place.
Yeah. So what would your advice be to people that are wanting to go to 5 figures per month, but maybe the biggest thing we get is, I'm not good enough to get to 5 figures, or I've not got the confidence in myself to get to 5 figures, or self-sabotage kicks in when things are going really well. So what advice have you got to these people to get to 5 figures plus a month?
First thing is never give up. Never, ever give up. You are the master of your own destiny. So if you believe you're not going to get to that, then you're probably right at that stage. So you want to get that belief in yourself and the want to do it. As soon as you start believing in yourself, you are going to make it. So look at, what do I need to do to believe in myself? And that's not going to happen overnight. And a lot of that is speaking to your peers, speaking to people that are doing business, that have done it, listening to them, taking the advice and getting feedback off people as well. But the biggest thing is just absolutely believe in yourself, because anyone can achieve anything they want.
Yeah. And this brings me to that. Remember that time where you thought I was selling to you when I was trying to connect you with my network? And you're like, I don't like her. She's trying to sell to me every 2 minutes. And it was like trying to connect you to your network. So that's with the starting point. But you know, when you went to £2,000 a month and £3,000 a month and £5,000 a month, you really rebelled against me. You were like, I'm not doing it. I'm not bothered about money. I don't care. And you can see that you were really well bothered about money because it gives you the options you want. I'm not bothered. I'm not doing it. What was the kicker? What motivated you beyond the 5K a month?
I think it was when it got to like 7,000 or something. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. That's quite good, that, isn't it? So I don't know. It's a money mindset thing straight away. Yeah. So it's the bit, I think for me, it was like, because obviously we did the 2, we did the 3, we did the 5. And as soon as we got to 7, it just became something completely different. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's 7,000. I never thought I'd earn that in a month, ever. Because bear in mind, my housing officer salary, I think it was like 1,800 is what I got after tax and everything. So I was almost fighting against it. And it's similar to what you just said about people don't believe that they can earn that amount or don't think they deserve that amount. And I'm comparing it to an annual salary, and that money coming in every month. Then all of a sudden it was like, oh, wait a minute, that's happening all the time. No matter what I do, and this is it, no matter what I do, that money's coming in every single month. Wow. So actually, see if I do a little bit more, there's going to be more money that comes in because I got the momentum going by that point. And it's something similar to what's happening now, as you know, because I'm just about to hit my level 2. And there's something magic that happens, and it just comes, again, it's all about doing the actions as well at the beginning. And it's all to do with that. And there comes a certain point where you go, oh, yeah, that's actually really exciting. And all of a sudden you've got that buzz to go, I want that to come in every single month. And then, I could get a bit more of that if I just did this. And it's not a trade-off anymore because you've put all the graft in. So you still have to graft, but there's less trade-off and it becomes easier and easier. And that's one thing I would say is, like, business does become easier. It doesn't mean your decisions are easier or your choices are easier, but business becomes easier for some reason. There's something magical that happens because your brain can cope with those decisions when it was trying to earn $2,000, it couldn't cope with it.
You know what? When we were trying to make 5K or £2,000 or 3K or whatever it was, you would work 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week just to get that. And now you don't even do that, and you're well over the 10K plus per month. And it's like, you could do that. What you did that in the first 13 days this month?
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, it's crazy just the amount that I don't mean that I don't have to do, because I still do it, but I've got my weekends now. I always take a Sunday off. I might do a little bit of work on a Saturday morning. Like today, after this, I'm finished, like, for the day. I've got, Friday afternoons, I generally finish at 3. I've got processes in place to make sure my business is getting dealt with.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, it doesn't work all the time, as you know. It doesn't work all the time, but I've got stuff there and in place to allow me to work on different parts of the business or to get some of my time back as a person.
It's perfect, absolutely perfect. I could remember going, I like working at 8 o'clock at night. I like doing my emails while I'm watching EastEnders. And I was like, really?
I don't even watch EastEnders anymore.
The bullshit that we tell ourselves, though, is, like, no, this is how I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this. This is the bullshit we tell ourselves. It can be really stifling. So let me ask you this question then. What made you join Influential Minds to help you grow your business?
So, well, obviously we met that day, and I remember speaking to you and the way you were around people, and I thought, oh, I should be really good as a coach actually, but I wasn't in the place for a coach at all. And I kind of silently watched you in the background. I looked at your social media, I looked at the stuff that you were doing, because there was something about you, and I was like, I know I'm going to end up working with her at some point. So you just kind of know you've got that thing. And I saw other people. So it was other people within your organization, people you were working with, other people inspired me to talk to you more. And we had a meeting one day, we had a conversation, and you told me the price of your coaching, and I just about died in my seat. And I said, yeah, I'd like to do that. So, and I remember thinking, one, I really, really want it, and I wanted it. I wanted everything that went with it, because I knew it was going to take me from, I was still working at that time. It was what was going to allow me to quit my job, but I also knew I couldn't afford it at that time. So I made, to me, when I look back on that, I made a really brave decision to take that on, that investment on at that time when I knew I couldn't afford it. But if I hadn't done that, I wonder where I'd be on that kind of progress journey.
Yeah, and I can relate to that, because my coach did it to me the same. They charged me something to get my commitment on the table, for me to not talk about it, but to put the commitment to make it happen, if that makes sense. And I put a certain level of money for you to put that on the table. I thought, oh, she won't start. And you really proved the talk by committing to it, and you're still here for 2.5 years later.
Absolutely.
Glutton for punishment. But what's your advice of people in that same boat, who's got a life and they want a certain vision, but nothing's changing for them, but they can't afford the direction or the coaching that will change their lives guaranteed?
So first and foremost is stop looking at it as an affordability thing, and look at it as in, how much money is it going to make me if I spend that or invest that? So look at the money it's going to get you rather than the money that you're paying out. And the next thing I would do, so if you still can't get over that hurdle, I would be looking to do some self-learning yourself, which will absolutely change your mindset on that as well. So you want to take advice on people on what books to read, money mindset stuff, speak to people that have done it, and get yourself within the environment of those people. Because as soon as you're in that environment, you'll no longer be looking at it as if I can't afford that. You'll be looking at it as if I need that, because it's going to allow me to earn whatever X figure it is you have in your head, whatever your dream is, whatever your goal is. It will make you look at that rather than just the cost implications as well. And I probably stifled myself a lot in the beginning by looking at what things are costing me rather than what they were earning me.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is, would you pay £1,000 to get £5,000 back?
Yeah.
Or 10 grand back? Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's an investment in you, in yourself. Yeah. Okay, so question here then. What has Influential Minds done for you that's got the best out of you?
Held me wholly accountable for everything that I say I'm going to do. Not allowed me just to give lip service, because it's so easy to give lip service and say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. You turn up next week and go, yeah, I'm still going to do this, I'm going to do that. Held me wholly accountable, helped me to create a plan and a vision. I couldn't plan anything, like even my next day. So helped me literally create a plan, help me look at processes, like things that, because do you know what? Nobody teaches you about business. See, if you're not in business, like nobody teaches you how to run it, how to run your accounts, how to look at forecasting, how to look at your net profit, how to look at your cost per sale, all the different things that makes you a business owner. Nobody teaches you that. And I didn't know any of it. There's still stuff that I don't know, and there's stuff that I do know, but that is what that I've really gained the most of, is that, and a group of peers that just totally inspire me every single day, every time I sit down with them in all of our sessions. And you just look at these people and go, you guys are absolutely awesome. And you know what? We're the best team ever, because we all work together to lift each other up and be successful. Not one person is jealous of any person that's there. We all celebrate each other's successes and help each other to be successful as well.
Isn't that interesting? You've got a group of successful people that just love helping people, but are not jealous.
Yeah.
And this is this is one of the things that people can't understand about our family is they've got loads of women in there, and a woman always says, they don't bitch about me. Well, we might do, but I'm joking. They don't, they don't bitch about me. And that's one of the biggest things that I like in the group is we're just family. You know, if someone cocks up, we're there. If someone needs support, we're there. And you guys make that. You guys have created that yourself. So what would you say to if somebody's looking for a really good community of people that can help them with their vision? What would you say?
I'd say that this, I mean, I'm going to be biased now for the rest of my life. I'd say this is the best community that you can be part of. And obviously with Influential Minds, there's the different Facebook groups, there's various different things there. Get into one. It doesn't have to be us, you know, obviously it should be because it's the best, but it doesn't have to be us at all, you know, but find that community, find that one that you fit in with and the people that you gravitate towards and they gravitate to you, and find that energy. Because that's the thing that's the difference with entrepreneurs. I think it's just that energy, that thing that draws you to each other, and find the people that you fit in with. Find your crowd.
Yeah, definitely find your crowd. I always say when you go into your rooms, is that the right room for you? Has it got the right money in there for you? You've got the right learnings in there for you, the right values. Is that room for you? That's what I always ask myself.
Yeah. And I think as well, just on that, don't go to the easy room. So I used to always go for the easy room. So I'd go to the room, it was easy for me to stand up and talk. I'd go to the room where I felt like the kind of better business person. That's the wrong room for you. You don't want to be in that room. It's okay to be there to help those people and kind of encourage them as well. But you want to go to the room that makes you ever so slightly excited, a little bit nervous, and you know that you're nervous about talking to these people, but the potential of business is massive. Go to the next room.
Yeah. Oh, that is a spot on, Emma. That's an incredible tip there on that one. So to help people get to 5 figures plus a month, nearly 6 figures plus a year, what's your one biggest secret that if you had your time again to do it again, to fast track it, what would you say them to do?
I'd say stop trying to think that everyone's trying to trip you up and like pull something, the wool over your eyes. So just have a bit more trust in people. Like things will happen. There will be people that break your trust along the way, but that's part of that kind of learning journey as well. But stop thinking that everyone's just out for a piece of you, because they're not. There's people that are genuinely just looking to help you.
That's spot on. That's absolutely spot on. And I know that you're recruiting people, amazing franchisees to join
Yes.
Pillow to earn well over 6 figures. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so obviously we're a franchise opportunity, so that's what I've done. When I started, obviously there was kind of less training, so I've worked on this system and I've worked on the process for the franchisees to be successful. And we have regions up for grabs up and down the UK. You get a territory that's yours, like I've at Glasgow, and that belongs to you. And you build up your service accommodation business. The great thing about the franchise is you've only got your initial commitment fee, you get initial investment, then after that you don't have a great monthly cost to your business. So from there on in, you can only make money, and you've got all the training, all the support, all the coaching. You get me as well. So I'm there in the journey to help you along the way. Anyone that joins us, we want you to succeed. You don't just get into our family by giving money to us. You go through an interview process. Make sure you fit in with our core values, that you really have that ambition and you want to make it. And if you pass that part and you come in, you will make it 100%. So like I say, up and down the UK, we go right to the very top. I'm thinking, what's at top? Peterhead, Aberdeen, further than that, Inverness, all the islands, right down to the very bottom, Devon and Cornwall. We've got a wide spread of franchisees already, but there are some good regions, amazing regions available just now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Emma, can I say a massive thank you? And you've been incredible. It's been such a great experience to coaching, take you where you've been from 0 to nearly 6 figures per year. And at the same time, also being part of Pillow community as well. You guys are awesome. I've never seen a business that just loves helping people and get the best out of people. Like it's just genuine people wanting to help and support each other, which I love. So guys, I'm just going to say a big thank you to Emma and thank you for listening. If this resonates with you, can you just put in the comment section how Emma has resonated with you? And please reach out to Emma. Is that okay, Emma?
Yeah, absolutely.
Please reach out to Emma and if you want any advice, secrets, or how to grow a business, or get her into your network. She's an awesome lady to have. So Emma, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you, Paula. Thank
See you
you.
later.